Hey friends, welcome to the Wisdom of the Cross. I'm James Amos. You know, Jesus Christ is the whole point of my life and yours and everybody's. We were all made to know him and enjoy him, to trust him and depend upon him. And that is what this channel is all about. I have been given the gift by God to get to know him more and more over the last 25 years. It all started when somebody shared the gospel with me while I was standing outside smoking one day. And after I first got forgiveness from God and began to get to know him and begin to experience him in prayer and through the word of God as he helped me more and more, he's taught me things about how to seek out his kingdom and do ministry and reach other people for the Lord and help people understand the Word of God. Eventually, I became a pastor and a church planter and then an overseas missionary. I live in different parts of the world with my wife and kids, and we try to help people know the Lord. And I'm hoping that I can use this YouTube channel to help you, whether you are thinking about becoming a Christian or you already do know the Lord and you're trying to grow. Whether you're a pastor or a missionary yourself, I want to create content that covers the breadth of the Christian experience. Sometimes it'll be about how we can understand the Bible. Sometimes it'll be about how do we know we can trust the Bible? How do we know that Jesus really rose from the dead? Other times we'll talk about practical things about being and making disciples. The central thread that will run through this YouTube channel, which is why I've given it the name The Wisdom of the Cross, is that I want to focus on seeing everything through the lens of really trusting and depending on God instead of ourselves. You know, that phrase, the wisdom of the cross, comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 1. It's one of my favorite parts of the Bible. And there the Apostle Paul is just making the point that there's a way that human beings normally think life should go. It's a worldly wisdom. It's a way of thinking about things that focuses on self and brings to the table my resources, my power, my ability, my interests. And it isn't God's way. There's a different way of looking at the world that happens miraculously, and as we seek it and grow, it's kind of a mystery how that works, where God helps us to look at ourselves and him and the whole world around us through a new lens, a lens of what God brings to the table, what God's strength, God's power, God's interests, God's agenda, God's love does in the world that we can't provide. The wisdom of the cross is a kind of wisdom, a kind of understanding of life and self and God that understands that after death in God comes resurrection. After we come to the end of our strength, after we come to the end of our ability, our resources, when we trust in God, that's right where we're supposed to be. And then what can come in its place is the same power that raised Jesus from the dead, is the same power that can transform your life and mine, is the same power that helps us to become free of our own agenda and our own ways. And I really have come to believe that the world and even the church needs a fresh dose of this kind of godly, God-dependent wisdom. Our church practice and our evangelism and our ways to go about trying to grow and raise a family. We can do these things in our own power, what's called in the flesh, or we can do them God's way. And so I'm hoping that in the years ahead, as I try to put out about one video a week, they'll be maybe 5 to 20 minutes long, depending on the topic, that the crimson thread that will run through it all is just depending humbly upon God and getting to know him his way. I hope you enjoy coming with me on this journey. And if you're just checking this out for the first time, the best place to start by far is the series of 3 videos that I'm posting as I begin this channel. The one to click on is available right there for you. It's about Jesus's authority. Check it out.